Ladies and gentlemen, my character Athena has surpassed her limits, and I will show you in this video. This will be a complete guide for Ps5 users for Mage. The most powerful build in this game as of now is Lightning Spear, hands down. And what a better way than to test it out for yourself. Don't know how to build it? No worries, I got you. There are tons of videos out there for this build, and I took inspiration from a few like Rax, Rage Gaming, and Mobalytics, and did perfect this build. The only thing I've got to complete are my masterworks, getting that ultra rare greater affixes for critical strike damage. Also, this is an endgame build. Please check out my Fireball sorcering for leveling up. This build will heavily require some uber uniques and tons of money to create. But no worries, nothing that you cannot handle, thanks to Hordes. With that being said, let's begin. Let's start with the skill tree. First off, the Firebolt. This will be our enchantment slot. Going down to our core skills, Frozen Orb 1 out of 5, Enhanced and Greater Frozen Orb. This will make everything vulnerable. Potent Warding, we get them from our uniques. To our defensive skills, Flame Shield Enhanced for the Born Radius, Teleport Enhanced, and Shimmering Teleport. Glass Cannon 3 out of 3 or even more. Ice Armor 5 out of 5. Enhance it and Mystical Ice Armor for the extra frozen damage. Everything will be shield or frozen. This is an extra damage multiplier. Elemental Attunement 1 point. Conjuring Ice Blades. Enhance it and then summon Ice Blades for cooldown reduction. This build is all about the cooldown reduction. This will also be your other enchantment slot. Next to our bread and butter, Lightning Spear, but only 1 out of 5. Enhance it and invoke Lightning Spear for stunning everything. And we also deal more damage to stunned enemies. Conjuring Mastery as high as possible. Align of the Elements 1 out of 3. Mana Shield 3 out of 3. And Protection 3 out of 3. Mastery Skills, Icy Veil 1 out of 3. Inner Flames 1 out of 3, Devouring Blaze 3 out of 3, Static Discharge 3 out of 3 for Crackling Energy, and this is also a damage boost. Ultimate skills, let's go with Permafrost 1 out of 3, Horse Frost 3 out of 3, and Unstable Currents all of the way, Cursing Currents 1 out of 3, Electrocution 3 out of 3, and key passives Overflowing Energy. Going over the armor and aspects, this is essentially the break or build of the guide. If you don't have this uniques, this build will simply not be optimal for endgame or even mid-game. Starting with our helmet, the Shaco, with an emphasis to cooldown reduction. The more of this, the more Lightning Spear we can summon, so only focus on this affix. Now for my PSN players who may not know how to target one specific affix on a greater uber unique, I will explain. Let's say you get a unique but it doesn't have one of the stats you're looking for, in this case cooldown reduction. You can go to a Smithy Master, work on the item, and it will give you a lucky roll on a specific ability. This is after master working 4 times. It will then turn into a blue color on the left of the affix. Let's say this lands exactly on the affix you wanted. Perfect. Then keep going and master work it till 8. If it lands again on what you want, it will then turn yellow color, as you see in my Shaco. If you're ultra lucky, after you complete masterwork to 12, it will turn orange. And congratulations, you have the best ink slot now. Now, if you're unfortunate like me, this will cost you tons of resources and cash. I mean, lots of cash. 5 million per reroll to reset. But how do we reset it? A lot of console players didn't even know this was an option or something we could even do, as the game doesn't explain it to you in the best way possible. Well, you simply go to Masterwork, and if it's 12 out of 12, but on the affixes you didn't want, just simply press triangle to reset the Masterwork now and then restart it. Warning, this is a warning. Only do this when you have tons of cash and tons of materials and don't care for some affixes on your uniques as of now. as this will get your unique back to 0 on the masterworking. A smarter way to do it is to do it from the very beginning on Masterwork 4. If you don't get the affix you want, simply reset it from only Masterworking this to level 4, instead of going to 12 out of 12 and then resetting it, since you don't get your materials back. Anyways, let's go to the next armor piece, or chest, Tyrael's Might. Focus on damage reduction. Here is where we become a tank. Plus, we also shoot some Homelander beams to finish your enemies off. Onto gloves. Focus on critical damage and critical chance. All we do here are crits. Here for tampering, try to get lucky on Spirit Lightning, Lucky Hit, and more critical damage. For the aspect, get this one. We deal more damage to any type of frozen or stunned enemies, which means 100% of the time we have this boost. Going to legs, look something for life, lightning spear, lucky hit of some armor, and some intelligence as well. And for the aspect, make sure you get this one. Casting a conjuration skill gives us 25% damage reduction for 5 seconds, and we will always have this active with this build. For our Jordans or GCs, choose Essus Heirlooms. Focus on critical strike damage and make sure the aspect gives you a max of 40% crit chance. This is insanity. For our Cuban Link or Amulet, go for the OG Winter Glass with a focus on cooldown reduction. Try to get to 0.5 ideally, or 0.6 better for the cooldown reduction. This will make a huge difference. For rings, go for a ring with a lot of crit chance, high damage, and the most important, the imprint frozen orb explodes twice. This goes hand in hand with the amulet and will make this build super efficient and powerful. The second ring obviously is Tal Rasha. As high as you can possibly get it, it's the best in slot. And finally, for a weapon, go for a staff, a two-handed staff always, because it doubles our damage and we need this obviously for life, crit damage, and try to get lightning spear 100% of the time to summon twice. But the aspect, super important, splintering aspect. This is our main form of attack. Also, for more survivability, get some warmth on one of your gear. I got them for my legs, and it will heal you a crazy amount every time you're fighting and burning the enemy. This is amazing. It's optional, not needed, but I do have it because it has saved my life multiple times. Now for our paragons. Full credit to mobalytics. Nothing is changed here. First glyph is controlled. Second board, Burning Instinct, and go to a glyph called Tactician. Third board, Enchantment Master, glyph Elementalist. Fourth board, Frigid Fate, and the glyph is Charged. Fifth board, Elemental Summoner, glyph is Conjurer. Sixth board, Ceaseless Conduit, glyph is Destruction. Seventh board, Searing Hit, glyph is Exploit. And eighth board is Static Search, glyph is Flame Feeder. This build shreds mobs, Ubers, and anything that stands in your way. The only downside is the boss and bossing time. It's not too bad, but nothing insane like Rogue Barrage. This build works best in Inferno Hordes and will destroy everything in your path. Also, the build will be in the description down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and till the next one.